Good morning and welcome back to Delco Beach Dreamers. It is July 9th and we are looking into the sales of July 5th through July 11th. And I'm happy to say we have 3 more days left this week and we have already met our average sales of 14 per week. Now, we're not setting the house on fire or getting any lucky hits right now, but we are doing bread and butter. Bread and butter is what's going to keep the bills paying and the lights on. So let me share with you what we actually sold so far this week. Okay, so the first thing we have is 3 forks. These sold, July 5th. They were listed July 3rd of 2025. Yeah, so a whole year ago. It took a whole year for me to sell these 3 forks. They don't take up much room, so I really don't care how long they took because they brought me $10, $9.99 plus shipping. These are full tang. See, the shaft of the metal goes all the way through the handle and it has rivets. 4 little rivets to hold it tighter together. These are the things that you look to see when you can sell 3 forks for $9.99. So these are going out the door. The next thing we sold, it's kind of funny, because I bought this thinking of my friend Debbie. She collects dolphins. And no, this is not a dolphin, but for some reason I convinced myself it was a dolphin, and I was going to give it to her for her birthday, which we're celebrating this weekend. Can't wait. So this is actually an orca killer whale, but I thought it was a dolphin. So I bought something else for Debbie. We're going to go out and celebrate her birthday by having dinner, and this went up for sale. I listed it on May 13th, sold it July 6th for $19.99. Then we sold, here we go, Melissa and Doug furniture pieces. This is the little hassock and the 2 little side chairs. And these sold for $10 on Mercari. Oh, I have to get this. I sold this one thing. Hold on. I'll be back. Okay, so the next sale, the thing I forgot to bring to the table, is this vintage brass jardiniere bowl. Use it as a planter, put your fruit in it, whatever you want to do. But it has these cool lion heads with the pool in the mouth. I had this listed for $50 and sold it for $35. It was a quick turnaround. This sold on Poshmark. I don't know where to put this stuff. Okay, next is this is something you learn from. Okay, I thought they were pretty cool. Bought them for $5. Bought quite a few of them. You know me, I like to buy multiples. So this is a farmer. It's a whole series of them, and he is sitting here eating his cherry pie, and he sits on a hay stack. Kind of cute. Paid $5 for him. Only sold him for $9.99. He was listed in August of 2025 and sold July 7th. So it's really not to your benefit to buy something for $5 and sell for $10. Now, if I buy something for 25 cents and sell for $10, I'm good with that. But to buy something for $5, wait a year, it's a pretty big box, and I had like 5 of these, 6 of these. I got 3 left. Well, 2 left now. Doesn't pay for it after you pay for the fees. Probably make $2 after fees. So you learn. Not everything's a winner, but you do learn. So I'm just happy that it's out the door. Alright, so the next thing is, now this I made money off of, and this is the kind of sales you want. These are vintage. I paid 50 cents. In fact, it still has the little tag on its butt. 50 cents for both of them. They are I'm a Human Being. These are from the 80s, I believe. They're American Greetings. 1980 exactly, okay? And they're a little filthy, a little dirty, but whoever gets these, I know that they're going to love them. They're going to take care of them. They're going to wash them up. There goes the 50-cent sticker. And like I said, 50 cents for these two, and I've sold them for $11.25. So these two little things went more than the darn farmer, and I paid $5 for the farmer, 50 cents for these. So this I'll do every day. The next thing is 14-piece clothing lullaby set. I bought a whole bunch of dolls, bought a whole bunch of clothes, probably $10 and everything, and I already sold one of the dolls for $90. So this is pure profit, and it sold, it was listed March 3rd, sold July 9th for $9.96. I had it posted for $14.96, but again, this is pure profit. So $9.96, out the door it goes. Now, Gary, he not much of a cameraman, so he already put his things out into shipping, but I'll post pictures of it. He sold a vintage Blue Ridge pottery hand-painted chick, and it was in the shape of a creamer. You can use it as a picture, only 5.5 inches tall. He listed that May 31st. It was sold July 6th for $27.35. On July the 5th, he sold a Knickerbocker plastic baby doll, vintage one, maybe from the 60s, maybe late 50s. He listed it May 16th, it sold July 5th for $13, best offer from a $14.75. While he was in Sea Isle this year, when we were at the community yard sale, he bought this Occupied Japan clay face doll that sits into a cardboard sled made out of mica. The mica is what the sparkly stuff is. You've seen a lot of the vintage things, gives it a little glitter effect. He listed it May 27th, sold it July 6th for $25. He also listed and sold in January 20th an Alamo plate. We went to the Alamo when we visited our daughter in Texas. It was a really cool place. Some people probably would go right in, right out, and be done in a half an hour. I think we were there for at least 2 hours. We thoroughly jump into things. We like to figure things out. They have a cat that has been there on the Alamo site. Oh, I think this is like the 4th generation. And they have little cemetery for their cats that served at the Alamo. We thought that was pretty cool. But we also enjoyed the history of the Alamo, and we were really surprised that the site of the Alamo isn't all that that fort was. A lot of the buildings now that are built around it occupy the space of the Alamo fort, and then in those buildings there are walls that belong to the original Alamo. So they didn't get rid of the walls, they just built around them, which I thought was pretty cool. So if you have time and you really like to thoroughly research things, I recommend the Alamo. But Gary bought this plate. It was made by Staffordshire, England, and he sold it July 7th. He listed it January 20th, and he sold it for $12. This next thing that Gary sold, I actually have these because he didn't get to them yet. He's in Pennsylvania, and these are in New Jersey. The things that he's shipped out already were located in Pennsylvania. But these are adorable. These are called piano babies. You would decorate your piano. That's what they call them, but a lot of times you can put on your knick-knack shelves wherever you want. But these are little boxing babies made out of bisque. They're adorable. They have their little diaper pins on them. They are made in Japan. I don't know if you can see that sticker. And here's a third one. Again, put up your little dukes. And then this is the 4th one. Okay, the 4th one is the reason why these didn't sell too high, but Gary just didn't want to separate them. If you look, the 4th one, he's been decapitated. He's been re-glued. Not bad for the glue that they had back then. Doesn't look too bad. You still can display these and look pretty good on the shelf. But he sold them because they've been around for a while. The boxing babies, they went on Mercari for $9, but they were on eBay for months and months, maybe even close to a year, and they didn't sell it all. So Gary sold them for $9. The next thing that Gary sold was this Tupperware cake holder with the handle, and this sold on Poshmark for $16. Tupperware You gotta look in the sold items, not the for sale items, because for anything you look at, don't look at the for sale, because people can ask whatever they want. That doesn't matter. It matters for what it's sold for. And Tupperware can bring good money depending on the piece. This one has the handle as well as the lid and the tray, and this one went for $16 on Poshmark, and that's sold July 7th. And then on eBay, he sold, this was a really good deal. I can crochet, I can cross stitch, but I can't knit. But I consider this a very good deal. Somebody bought all these for best offer. He had them listed for $18.50, and even at $18.50, that's a good deal. I'm more than sure you can't go into Walmart now and buy a set of needles for less than $5. But they bought all of these for $11.50. They have been on eBay since November the 14th of 2025, and they sold July 9th for $11.50. Okay. I have a lot of wrapping to do, a lot of packing to do. So these are going out the door. See you soon. We sold these coasters. They are Asian theme with the egrets and tall grass. They were made in Taiwan, ROC, so they do have some value, some age. These are laminated on the top, cork back on the bottom. These sold for $14.99. They were a best offer from $24.99. We also sold this Harry Potter hardback book with dust jacket, The Goblet of Fire, for $10 on Mercari. Okay, we're going to wrap this video up by talking about 3 more things that we have sold. On the 11th, we sold a Vera Bradley makeup bag for $9.99. Gary sold a vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle baseball glove for $26.63. As well, he sold a 1950s Gillette razor at best offer of $30. Received positive feedback for these things already, so go murmur. Alrighty, so we're going to call it a day. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up, helps the algorithms. See you soon. Thanks again.